Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rolling Out Brand Creators. My name is Lerae Funderburg, and today I have the distinct honor and privilege of being your host. And we have with us here Taryn and Quentin Lewis. They are the co-founders of Urban Eden, an all-natural body care company. Taryn's interest in wanting to learn a valuable skill led her to soap making. From her first batch of soap in their one-bedroom apartment, she knew that she had found her calling. Quentin's entrepreneurial mind provoked Taryn to start a business with the soap, and Urban Eden was born. Because both Taryn and Quentin both had a farming background, Urban Eden was founded with sustainability and utilizing the power of plants in all of their products. With Quentin's research and internet marketing, he joined Urban Eden full-time alongside Taryn, and since then, they have moved from producing in their house, opened a brick and mortar store in Douglasville, and expanded their operations into a warehouse. Within just 5 years of business, they have built Urban Eden into a multi-million-dollar company with plans to continue expanding and growing the business. So give thanks to you both for taking time away from your multi-million-dollar empire to be here with us today. So please. Yes, I'm so happy to. So I'm like an avid user of Urban Eden. I was using my turmeric body scrub last night. I woke up today. I have my lemongrass and patchouli soap. I'm about this Urban Eden life. So their products are excellent. I advise everybody to try them out. I'm sure you've probably heard of them already, but definitely worth checking out. But yes, please share with our audience just a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journey, like the details of how it all began and how you've managed to build it into such a success.
So the way it pretty much began was we were interning at a farm in Atlanta, urban farm, and there we just learned about like various farming skills. We got introduced to the farmers market culture as well. So we were going out selling plants and selling vegetables at the farmers market. And also we were introduced to like communes. We went to a commune at that time. So I was really like community minded. I was like, oh, I want to be a part of a community. Like, I just want to learn a skill that I could sell at the farmers market, or if I lived on a commune, that it would be something that was valuable to learn. And so I also like to read a lot. And so we just went to like Barnes and Noble. That's been a big part of our journey, just going to Barnes and Noble, getting books based off of what we like. And I found a craft book, and I don't know, soap making, just like, it was a big craft book. It had a lot in there, but soap making just really stood out to me. And I started it off as a hobby. Like, even though I wanted to learn a skill, I started it off as a hobby. And Quentin already had a business prior to that doing landscaping and installing vegetable gardens. So he's really like the entrepreneur mind of it all. And so like, he's the engine behind it. Like, well, you need to start a business. And I was like, huh? And so we pretty much, I started a business, and as you were saying earlier, he joined on the business, and it's just been growing ever since then, just with him doing social media marketing and me doing product development. So all those products that you love to use, I create all those products. And then Quentin does all the social media background. He does a lot of operations for it. And then I don't know if you want to talk about your personal entrepreneur journey.
Well, no, and she asked about the growth. I mean, we just kind of grew organically. It really wasn't until we started to really utilize paid advertising in 2020, mixed in with the pandemic, mixed in with unfortunate events like the George Floyd killing, like a mixture of all of those things really contributed to like these last, like, I'm gonna say like 20 months of just hyper growth for us. I think we just took advantage of we was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, so now how do you think that those events specifically like sparked growth in your brand? Like, what about your brand was connected to those things that kind of just made people notice you guys and pay attention and say, I want to support this Black business?
Well, I think we had like, well, first to start with COVID, because I think COVID was like the thing that really sparked it all. It was like, with COVID, we're all bacteria, wash your hands, cleanliness is next to godliness. Whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So I think us being in that frame of business and that niche, I think that really helped, with essential oils and stuff. And then with the whole George Floyd thing, and then we happen to be
Black-owned.
we're a Black-owned business.
Mhm.
People, that awareness of let's support our own. And this kind of happens, not gonna say this happens like a lot, but you know how a lot of times when certain events happen, a lot of people want to support Black-owned businesses. And it's not just Black people, it's all races of people who want to support Black-owned business. So I think us being in the forefront of our content, in the forefront of, just all the things that we do, it was just a perfect storm. Like, people wanted to support.
And then even with our content, one of the pieces that we had released around that time was our brand story.
Yeah.
I always love to mention that because it was just like, even in the midst of everybody finding out about us through COVID, and they were calling us, and I mean, just even like older people who don't even really get on, like they're on social media every now and again, but they're like, I saw your video. So we just had like a big influx of people just wanting to support. And it really just gave us like a spotlight as far as like what we were doing and the fact that Urban Eden existed.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought up the brand story, because so many people miss that piece in their business. Like, people want to be able to connect with you and align with you and know you, know the people behind the things that they're using. So definitely having a story and being able to tell that effectively, I'm sure, was something that was like huge for you guys. So you make a lot of content. I love watching you guys' page. I'm like, they're on it all of the time. So tell me a little bit about that process, like what goes into like the different content that you're making, like your strategies.
Well, the strategy behind the content. So, earlier when we had like no money and all we had was an iPhone, I mean, it was just simply just document what we were doing, just document the journey. You know what I'm saying? People can go back to our YouTube channel. They can see when we were in the house, when we was in the garage, and kind of just made these incremental steps. So that was like our first strategy, was just document. Mm-hmm. Then about 2019, we got connected with someone named Isaiah Fowler, and he kind of made our mindset kind of shift to like, hey, let's kind of create like this show called Urban Eden After Hours, where like we're answering the questions of the customers, we're talking about the benefits of the product. Like, it's this concept that Gary Vee calls jab, 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 right hook. So we were just doing a whole lot of jabbing. It wasn't until we kind of came out with that show or whatnot where we were doing a little bit more right hooks, where we're talking about the specific product and the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the strategy. Document the journey. Now we kind of have this show. Now, I think now to this present day, I think we just kind of want to we want to be more of a media company. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got to go extremely, extremely hard with content. Like, we really got to entertain and educate. Like, that's what we know. Edutainment, right? Like, we really have to, because I mean, that's really that's really the variable. You know what I'm saying? It's really us continuing to come out with very creative content. I don't know if people have seen us come out with different TikToks, funny, comical type of content. I think that was another evolution that we did. I mean, I don't think people probably had ever seen us in that light. So I think that's another good thing. So that's the thing. We're going to continue to document. We're going to continue to have the after hours, and then we're going to add like that comical, humor, relatable type of content.
Yes. So what would you say, like, if you had to describe your brand's personality in like 3 or 4 words, what would you use to describe it?
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Sustainability is always at the forefront of our business. Plant-based, that's kind of like 2 words in one, but plant-based is at the core of our values, just because like literally every product that we make, like even down to the scents, we would never put something that wasn't a non-plant-based scent into our soaps. And then also, I think I would say like clean. Clean. You might say some different ones. Yeah. I would say clean just because of like in our transparency. So I guess like clean goes along with or authentic. Let's say authentic.
I was gonna say something like that, like authentic, likable, relatable. Yeah. I mean, I think people really kind of like, it's like this. People look at our brand like it's something that they can trust. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because like there are actual human beings behind it.
We talk about what we use.
Yeah,
we always show our faces.
Yeah, so I think it's really something that you can face. Like trust. I'm sorry, trust.
So you have trust.
I kind of say likable, relatable, trust. Okay. Things like that.
Absolutely. I would tend to agree as a consumer for sure that pretty much nails it. So Quentin, you have this background in marketing. One thing that people I think are always confused about, they kind of throw like marketing, branding, publicity, promotions like all into one. Like how would you differentiate all of those, and like to what extent do you use any of them in your business?
Well, they're all definitely, definitely different, I would say. I mean, because like marketing is like the whole thing in one. And then you have like these different subsets. Because I mean, branding is like the type of content and type of strategy where like, you know, what is branding more? Branding is more of the thing that's going to get people to like you. That's the content where like, we're going to be in the videos and whatnot. Advertising to me is when we have that aspect of like putting the paid advertising together, the ads, advertising ads, you got that aspect. The promotion, you said promotions? Is that what you said?
Or publicity, yeah.
Publicity, that's going to be that whole like PR, podcast interviews, like things even like this. They're all very, very important, you know what I'm saying? But I think that branding is extremely important because that's that long term. That's branding is something that you're not going to immediately always see an ROI, but it's very, very beneficial that you got to be branding because as we know, COVID hit and like people had to go online and just order online. But if you had an established brand, you were fine and you experienced growth during that time. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely want to brand yourself. Like branding is just super, super important.
Yes. Has your brand changed at all since it began, or has it remained consistent since the beginning in you guys' 5-year journey?
I would say that it's remained pretty consistent.
Some of the looks of the products have changed, but the brand is pretty consistent.
Yeah, I think the principles have stayed the same. I think that's one of the things that people really like is that they still can get like this very connected feeling to us and the brand, even since day one. That's why we still have customers, even like yourself, that have been customers of us for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? Because the way that we communicate, with customers, that has not changed. Like we're still going to always communicate. We're going to be very transparent as to what we're doing. We're always going to document. So I mean, but it's gotten more mature.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I would say that it's evolved. And I know like even one of the things that, we started to introduce like more luxury products. So that's like something that we're getting into and something that we want to work into more. So it is getting more mature and evolved. You definitely want to grow.
Yeah.
Yes. And I do like the personableness of your brand. I remember that time I was having a breakout. I called Taryn. I was like, wait, what do I need? My face is what is happening. She was like, girl, get you some charcoal. I'm like, oh, I'm coming. That was probably the first time I came to the store. Normally I order my stuff. I was like, I can't wait. I got to come get that product.
Yeah, pull up.
Exactly. And the store is beautiful too. I love it. So what ways or what things have you guys done to like kind of secure or protect your brand?
Well, I'm glad we definitely shout out to you. You definitely helped us with the trademark. Yes. Because I mean, people probably didn't even know. And I mean, us three know about, there was another company that had the name of Urban Eden. It just wasn't spelled the same, you know what I'm saying? So that could have been very ugly years from now. Like because I actually even heard about a company that was about to exit, but couldn't exit because they didn't even trademark their name. And they ended up having to spend 6 figures to get their name. And that's something that you don't want to do. So that's a way that we protected the name. Small incremental things like, just always, putting like Urban Eden on our videos, maybe like at the corner, like those are the very small things and whatnot. And, always using that hashtag.
Creating original content.
Creating original content. I think that is a big one. I mean, I don't think that our content is something that people can necessarily copy, because I mean, I don't think you could necessarily copy our content really. So that's kind of the way that we protect it. I think that trademark really did a big thing.
It definitely did.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are there any ways that you guys are kind of able to test your brand's perception, like for your consumers? Is there any way that you guys kind of have any like policies or checks and balances in place where you're able to see like, oh, these are our brand pillars and how we wish to be perceived, but is this how our customers actually see us?
Well, I think one of the ways that I kind of like keep like check the temperature of the people and things like that is I'm always in our reviews.
Okay.
So I'm constantly checking the feedback of the reviews. You know, of course, you always see like good reviews, but I'm always looking at those 1-star and those 2-star reviews, trying to understand like where can we improve. Of course, we have a customer service person and he's like on the front line. So I'm always contacting him each week to be like, hey, what's the temperature like? You know, how, you know, what's it like in the emails? Because that's where you get a lot of the feedback, the emails, the complaints and things like that. And I'm just trying to always understand with him and communicate with him, like, what's going on? How are people feeling?
Mm-hmm.
What are you hearing out there right now? And he can always give me like, you know, feedback, but reviews and him and the customer service is really big.
Nice, nice. And so when I'm just curious myself, do you guys ever reach out to like people who give you 1-stars or anything like that to try to see, you know, how you can improve that experience moving forward?
Yes, we do occasionally, and we want to start implementing that more, just because we want to, I mean, customer service is a really big part of the business. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, even if we have the opportunity to change anybody's mind, because sometimes it could be, oh, well, I didn't like the smell of this product. So it's like, you know, we offer so many different other products and just trying to be problem solvers. So if a person has a problem, like we want to give a solution to those people. So we do reach out to people. We make phone calls occasionally, but we do want to be more proactive in trying to change those negatives into positives.
Absolutely. I love that. And I'm also curious about how y'all go into making those scent combinations, because I'm telling you, they are everything. I'm like, man, how do they even know to put these together?
Oh, yeah.
It's
that research. That's that research and development.
Yes, well, it is definitely paying off. So what can we expect to see from Urban Eden in the future? Like, what kind of plans do you guys have for expansion and growth? If you don't mind telling us.
Well, what I was just mentioning earlier, our biggest one is Urban Eden Luxe. Just creating more. All of our products are quality, but we want to create like top notch super quality ingredients, like some very high quality ingredients, and then also just maturing the look, like we were talking about earlier, maturing some of the looks, improving and fine tuning some of our products that we have now. So like having like how we have the deodorant, we want to make sure that deodorant is good, and having the soaps. And then I've mentioned toothpaste. I think that having like soaps, deodorants, and toothpaste is something that we want to introduce. And from your end,
I would say we really want to get very, very intentional about our ingredients and the sourcing of where they're coming from. I think that's the next evolution for Urban Eden, is like, kind of like, you know how like wine, how you can like look at wine and be like, hey, these grapes in this wine, this is a 1987 wine the grapes were produced in a field in California somewhere. I don't know, like, you know how wine is.
That's how we want. Like
that's how we want. Like, we want people to be connected to the places and the farmers that produce these ingredients. So I think that's the next evolution that we're going to really get on.
Nice. And so what about your legacy? What is the legacy that you guys wish to leave behind with Urban Eden?
That's a big one. I mean, the legacy that we want to leave is, honestly, I want people to like look at Taryn and I as like some of the top entrepreneurs of our era. You know, we want to create a system. We want to create jobs. Like, that's really the legacy that we want to leave. I meant like is like I said, just known as great entrepreneurs, people that you can approach, people that, you know, as we continue to get successful, like, I don't want to be this person that's like, oh, he's not necessarily like changed or whatever, but like, you can still talk to me. Like, you can reach out to me, you can talk to me. I'm an open book, like, you know what I'm saying? I will give you the game, and I will. I mean, both of us will. Like, what are some things that you?
I would say for the brand, from the beginning, one of the goals, the main goals, was to be a household name. So I think like that's a great legacy to be able to leave. Is like, because we've done career days, we've talked to children, and you can go in there and ask children what kind of soap that they use, and there's that one main soap brand that everybody's gonna name it. So we feel like that's legacy as well, just being a brand that has longevity and sustainability throughout generations. So like kids, Urban Eden is the soap that they grew up on in their home, and their parents introduced that to them. So I think that that's like the brand is the legacy, essentially. That was, I mean, everything that we've made physically, things that we've made digitally, we want all of that to be our legacy pretty much.
Yes, I think you are well on your way. Please believe I have some Urban Eden kids, okay? And they will be growing up using it for sure.
No, that's a big kid. Kids. We want the kids to be like, hey, my mom used to give me Urban Eden when I was young.
Absolutely. Well, is there anything else you would like to share with our audience, especially how they can reach you and purchase some of your lovely products?
Oh yeah, so you can check out the website, urbaneden.com, HERBNEDEN.com. Also, we have an Instagram where we make our funny videos on there, very informative information. We have our TikTok, and everything is Urban Eden all across the board: TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And we also have a YouTube channel. So we always recommend our YouTube channel because we've just been making videos on there for years. So you can see the journey along the way. You can see after hours where we talk more about the ingredients that we use. We put vlogs on there so you could see our daily lives within Urban Eden. So it's so much information on YouTube in general. So definitely check all of those platforms out.
And I would add to just simply vote Urban Eden. And the way that you can vote Urban Eden is simply by using the Urban Eden products, using the soap.
Absolutely. And y'all heard that brand consistency on every platform. It is the exact same. They know what they're doing. They are not new to this. They are true to this. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you.